I remember sitting on the field, not being able to participate. I mean, I hated these hours, being excluded. And I think that's probably why I became crazy.
Like many other children with asthma, Hans Bisgaard experienced its physical and psychological effects. Since then, he has dedicated 35 years to studying the causes of childhood asthma and improving prevention and treatment. For his efforts, he's receiving the 2019 Novo Nordisk Prize.
This is the most common chronic disease in childhood. It's the most common reason for being hospitalized through childhood. It's the most common reason for healthcare utilization of any kind. And it's the most common reason for using chronic medication.
However, the physical effects are far from the only ones.
They develop their agility physically, and they need to be able to participate in exercise, in football, in whatever physical activity. Because if you don't, or you can't, then you are not picked for the team. And if you're not picked for the team, you find yourself different.
Hans Bisgaard wanted to specialize in orthopedic surgery, but jobs were lacking in that field. Instead, he started as a physician at a children's hospital, and there he found his lifelong career interest.
There were several reasons why I continued in pediatrics. One of them being that there is very little science, very little evidence in what we're doing today, and that annoyed me. We did what we used to do. It was because people thought you cannot do research in kids. That's unethical. And my point of view was it's more unethical if you don't.
The rationale at that time was that children should not be treated, since most eventually outgrow asthma. Hans Bisgaard knew about the psychological effects of asthma and felt he had to do something.
We started introducing inhaled steroids, and that was up against an outcry. How can you give steroids to a young child who's growing? And we did a lot of those studies, and it was highly efficacious. So because of that, this paradigm changed.
Hans Bisgaard is receiving the 2019 Novo Nordisk Prize for his pioneering research efforts to understand how asthma and other allergic diseases occur early in life, and how to improve the treatment outcomes of these diseases.
Inhaled steroids proved to control the asthma symptoms very efficiently. However, Hans Bisgaard thought more could be done.
That's like putting out fire. And we succeeded. I would say that treatment today is excellent. And then at a later stage, I thought it would be better to prevent the fire. So we changed the strategy from being the fireman to be the fire inspector who prevents the fire.
To prevent asthma, Hans Bisgaard knew he needed to understand the disease better. And to do that, he had to get basic researchers and clinicians to talk to each other.
Trying to bring the two together, at least at that time, didn't happen often. But I've always done it. It's always been my research, bringing clinicians and basic scientists together, because it was so easy and it was so rewarding, and everybody liked it. The basic scientists said, wow, a child. The pediatricians were rewarded by finding evidence that they couldn't find themselves.
In 1998, Hans Bisgaard's group started monitoring 411 children born to mothers with asthma for clinical outcomes such as asthma, allergies, and lung function.
That is something that is totally unique in Denmark. I mean, that's why they come to us from Harvard, from New York University, University of Chicago. They come to us, travel here, because we have this amazing material of groups of pregnant women, where we also have samples, and samples from the infant to the toddler, to the school child, to the adult. This is something where we have really pushed the clinical research. And I think it's really a gold mine.
Today, the children he talks to in his clinic have a familiar problem.
So when I interview my children, I ask them, Are you doing well? Yeah. Do you play football? Yeah. Okay. What do you play in football? I'm a goalkeeper. Because then he doesn't have to run. I was told by my doctor not to participate in football. But then again, I was told to sit on the line to watch the football because it's such a noble game, you have to learn it by seeing it. And clearly that affects you. And I think it affected me today.
Through numerous clinical studies on asthma, Hans Bisgaard's efforts have optimized treatment of children with periodic seizures or persisting breathing difficulties.
Hans Bisgaard's thoroughness and ingenuity led to other discoveries. The researchers measured the lung function of newborns. When they finished the examination, they always removed mucus from the airways. And when they analysed this mucus, they got quite a surprise.
There were findings of pathogenic bacteria, those who are typically associated with pneumonia, in 20% of the children, which was very much a surprise to me because everybody thought that the lungs were sterile. That's been the dogma.
5 years later, when they re-examined these children, they got another surprise.
Those who had been colonized versus those who had not. Those who had been colonized had a 4-fold increased prevalence of asthma. So there was a link between the bacteria and asthma. Is it the hen or the egg? It's difficult. Do you have this colonization because you have asthma, or do you get asthma because of the bacteria? That's still an open question.
In 2016, he had his major scientific breakthrough.
In a study of 700 pregnant women, we gave fish oil to one group and olive oil to the other group, followed the children for now it's 8 years, and we saw that those who had fish oil had a 30% reduction in asthma, which is huge.
The study showed that the women with high levels of long-chain fatty acids in the blood before the study, or certain variants of a gene called FADS, did not benefit from the fish oil supplementation.
So combining the two, we're able to do precision prevention. We can analyze the fatty acids in the blood of the mother. We can analyze for the FAT gene. And combining the two, we can say specifically, you must have a complementary or a fatty acids. But you don't have to. Because your blood level is okay, you have the right genes, you don't have to.
However, as a scientist, he found even more.
There was also an effect on the neurological development of the child, the cognitive development. The language was accelerated by 3 weeks. There are milestones, when you can walk and talk, etc., were accelerated.
His research is exceptionally original, and his finding that giving fish oil to women in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy significantly reduces the risk of asthma may prove to be of major importance to public health. Hans Bisgaard is therefore a very deserving recipient of the 2019 Novo Nordisk Prize.
Despite the great results, Hans Bisgaard has never really felt like an accepted part of the two worlds he has tried to unite through his research.
It's been a struggle, in particular in my clinical side. It's been a struggle being recognized, and I think the prize I'm getting now is probably the first time people realize, well, he's not all stupid. Likewise, in basic science, I was the one who really knew nothing. But I was just a funny guy who came with a good material. And now, for the first time, really, you have given me the recognition that this kind of stupidity can actually bring great, great, great results.